What does real love feel like? A lot of times when you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you might not even really know, especially if you also were raised by narcissists. Something that I find very interesting is that everybody has a slightly different definition of real love. However, everyone's definition is also kind of the same when they've actually experienced real love. What is real love and what does it look like? What does it feel like? That's what we're talking about today at queenbeing.com. Let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. So real love means a lot of different things, like I said, to a lot of different people. But when we're talking about romance, and that's what we're talking about today, what does real romantic love feel like? And is there such a thing as staying in love forever? Well, there is, but maybe it's not exactly what you think it is. So we're going to start out today with just a quick official definition of real love. Take a look.
Is love even definable? Can you put a single definition of love on paper? Maybe not. Dictionaries define it as an intense feeling of deep affection. But we can have an intense feeling of deep affection for someone who really doesn't feel the same way about us, right? So in my opinion, that's not real love. A lot of us think we want real love, but most of us don't even really know how to effectively define the word. After all, we can liken describing love to describing color, and the truth is you can't really get it unless you've quote-unquote felt it or seen it. Love isn't just experienced with your logical mind, and yet it's your logical mind that attempts to define it. Real love is the result of your intention to love, but it's very different from your intention to be loved. Real love is really something we are, rather than something we quote-unquote get or share. Maybe that's why it's so confusing to people. Perhaps a better definition is that love is a feeling that expresses itself through action and through acts of service. It's what we do and our intention behind it. It's not the need for control or security, and it's certainly not jealousy. It's mutual trust, mutual respect, and deep, lasting friendship. It's finding beauty in one another, even in the darkest times in our lives, and it's loving one another even when it feels hard to do that. Relationships are difficult, but when we can commit to each other for life, bringing in the deepest parts of ourselves, the good, the bad, and of course the ugly, and then we can accept one another, flaws and all, well, then we can find love.
Now that you've heard that, let me share this with you. The other day when I was in my live chat, one of my viewers kind of put me on the spot and said, hey, what does real love feel like? So I gave my answer, and I'm sharing it with you this way because I want you to see what I said without thinking. I want you to see what I said real love was off the top of my head in the moment. So take a look.
So real love is not beautiful all the time. Sometimes it's a little dirty and nasty, and I don't mean that in a weird way. What I mean is that sometimes real love is hard. Sometimes you give 80% and your spouse gives 20, but sometimes it's the other way around, and sometimes it's 50-50. I think it feels like someone you can depend on. It feels like someone you know for sure they're on your team. Here's an example of what I think real love looks like. So my husband and I, if we have any kind of arguments or fights, or not really fights, but arguments, because everybody has arguments, even people in love. We've been together almost 15 years now. I guess it was about 5 or 6 years ago. We were in a mild argument. You know, he was downstairs, I was upstairs, and we were kind of, and we found out that some of our neighbors were spreading some rumors about us. And when I learned this information, I went right down to where he was and I showed him what I had seen on Facebook or whatever it was. And I said, do you see this? Have you seen this? And suddenly we were no longer arguing. We were us against the world. And I think that's what real love feels like, is us against the world no matter what. So sure, you might have your little, spats and disagreements and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, when times are tough, no matter what's going on, it's you against the world. And I think that's something that you never get with a real narcissist. You never get us against the world with a narcissist unless it's for their cause and not yours. You know what I'm saying? But I think real love feels like, it feels comfortable. You can fart in front of each other or whatever, but it also feels strong, and it feels like family. It feels like someone that no matter what you go through, that person's going to be there. If you gain 100 pounds or lose 100 pounds, or which or if you turn into something that you weren't before, that person will still love you. Another thing about real love is that you need to love more things about the person than you don't. So nobody's perfect. You're going to be annoyed with somebody sometimes, you know what I mean? But if you can, and I'm not saying you should necessarily do this in a healthy relationship, but if you could make pros and cons lists Your pros side would need to be a lot more abundant than your cons side. At least 51%, but I would say a little more, 75, 85% would be nice.
Now, I know you don't just want my opinion on love. So what I did was I took a poll on my Facebook pages, and I have a few really good answers for you. So take a look at this kind of cross section of what people think real love is all about. We have people in relationships as long as 35 years in this lineup. So take a good look and let me know what your thoughts are. Have a look.
So the question posted was that I was seeking people in long-term successful relationships who would answer this question for an upcoming video. So everyone knew they would be included in this video. So what does real love feel like? Renee says comfortable and carefree. Riley says never lonely. Tina says it feels like finally being able to be yourself for once. It feels like wanting to give more than take and being able to take what you're given without a question, if you understand what I mean. It means trust, unconditional trust, forgiveness, understanding, compromise. These are things that come to mind when I think of my husband of 20 years. It's hard work sometimes, but if it's real love, that's what you do. I like that one. Connie Finney says, contentment and confidence in one another, and to be faithful without a doubt, together 38 years. Ryan Anderson says 3 steps: love, hate, love. And I think there's actually something valuable there. Like I said in the clip that I shared with you here, love, hate, love. I mean, the fact is, you don't really hate your spouse, but certainly sometimes in a healthy relationship, you find yourself feeling less than fond of your spouse. And when you're really committed and you know it's real love, well, then you just keep going and you work toward it. Real love ebbs and flows is what I'm saying. Ingrid Thompson said real love feels safe even when there's disagreement. She said it feels free even when you're married. It's looking forward to going home, not dreading it. It's no eggshells or waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's happy and silly and warm and caring. It's all the things the narcissist sold of his chintzy fake bill of sale but failed to deliver. Muffy Lewandowski agreed. She said, absolutely the way I felt my whole life. Kiki says, it's peace of mind knowing all is well. I understand what the phrase means. Love surpasses all understanding. If, at least myself, she says, it encompasses my whole being. There's just something about it that comes over and says that everything's going to be okay. I love that. Elaine Jones says, I'm totally faithful to my fiance, and love means everything to us. We're in love, and it feels great. We're 100% keeping it that way. We have a strong connection and commitment, and we've been together 5 years. It just feels great. Matthias Wilcoxon says, when you know, you know. It's not something that can be put into words. I only felt it once, and she has turned my heart into pixie dust. Lynn Joe says, it feels safe, it feels sound. It's like your soul settles in a place so solid that you know you want to stay there. That's love. Her husband and she have been together since 2003. Chucky Susu says, okay, so you know that warm, fuzzy butterflies in the stomach feeling or the instant attraction feeling? Real love feels nothing like that. In my experience, contrary to popular belief, those are run fast, far feelings. No joke. Let me pause here and add that I agree. Those are very often infatuation, and if they are instantly returned, that can be a red flag. Chucky says, my husband and I have been married 8 years, together 2 before that, and friends for 3 years before that. She said nothing about it was instant love, okay? We just got to know each other over time and became like best friends. Eventually, we realized that we really enjoyed having each other's company and could literally spend every day together. Keep in mind that during the 3-year friendship, there was no sex. She said we decided we could give dating a try. Dating and marriage felt the same as being best friends, except now we've added intimacy, I'm going to say, into the mix. She says, and I gotta tell you, it took some getting used to. It wasn't bad, it was just a really big step, and we were nervous, and it was weird. I mean, questions of what's this going to do to our friendship went through our minds. It's like your best friend. You care for them, they care for you, and you both know that you want to be friends forever. She said, when I was younger, I never wanted to get involved with my best friend. It would hurt so much if it didn't work out. But that's exactly the kind of relationship you want. One that you both care about each other so much that neither one will hurt the other. Amber, who says, to me, real love is without fear. It has a foundation, one that can stand up through the darkest of storms. It does not put you down, make you feel less, or stunt your emotional and spiritual growth. It nurtures from the inside out. Love that. Sonia Coleman says it feels safe. It never ever feels scary or degrading for 1 minute, ever. It's knowing that the other person has your back and genuinely wants the best for you no matter what. They share your joys, they share your pain with no strings and no expectations attached. Sheila Jones says, unconditional acceptance and unwavering love. It is a beautiful balance of individuality and partnership, lovers and friends with passionate intimacy that make you feel safe. Catherine Hugger says, coming up on 13 years of happy marriage, and it feels like friendship, kindness, generosity, and mutual respect. Sarah Elizabeth Clubb says, I would say that love feels like appreciation, dedication, consistency. It's a feeling that builds up slowly and makes everything better. Real love makes you feel grateful every day. It's beautiful. Rosine Ippolito says, real love is true fondness. It's a combination of liking very much, endearment, boosterism, well-wishing and respect, and forgiveness. There's a lot of forgive and forget, she says. Deborah Pamela Jeffrey says, real love relationship helps you grow and blossom. You just shine, and you totally trust yourself 100%. Love that. Audrey CG says, unconditional empowerment, respect, acceptance, and tenderness.
What do you think about that? Have you found yourself in a real love situation before, romantic or otherwise? And if so, what does real love look like to you? That's the question of the day. What does real love look like to you? Share your thoughts and your ideas and your feelings and your experiences in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. Now it's time for the Daily 7, where I feature 7 comments left yesterday by viewers on my channel. Take a look. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Be sure to take a look at the videos in the cards above and the links in the description below for more videos on how to create the life that you want, get yourself away from toxic relationships, and open yourself up to real love. I'll see you soon.
It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.